Apocalypses, the show where we explore the collapse of society by playing fun tabletop role-playing games. I'm your host, Stu Masterson, and I'm joined by one potato salad and one chicken salad.
I don't really like potato salad all that much, so I'm going to say I'm chicken salad.
I do like potato salad.
That is good. I'm Brady. I'm a potato salad of a man. Wait, no, I'm a chicken salad of a man.
Wow, embarrassing.
I'm a chicken salad of a man, and I play Buck McCready, the super stupid sleuth who really just ruined his whole day, his whole week. Every success that he had for the last month just is about to get flushed down into the stew from the baffles.
You did really jork it up last time. It was really fun because you rolled really good on like all the reading and interacting with people rolls to let you go do the thing that fucked everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Jacob Potato Salad. And I'm playing Ocean, a gentle giant who is probably might have to sit this episode out due to some shitty internet connection issues.
If Jacob disappears at any moment, he is the worst internet of all time in this moment. So we may have to say goodbye to him, but I believe in him.
Oh, God.
Good news, everyone. We got Jacob back. He's calling in through his phone, so he'll sound good to everyone listening, but to us, he sounds like trash. So if we ever ignore him or talk over him,
I'm using my AirPods.
that's why. But he'll be here for this episode, which is all that really matters. So this week, it's not my turn to come up with a BuzzFeed Presents Apocalypse, but I am going to throw someone on the spot. Jacob, it's your turn. And 2 months ago, you told us you had a cereal question you wanted to ask us, and you still haven't.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, I do. It was a very simple question, but I thought I really liked it. What is your cereal of choice? I feel like your cereal of choice tells a lot about you as a person.
I concur. I think this is a good question. Remember to answer as if you have been able to eat every cereal as Book and Ocean. What's your vibe? What cereal is your vibe?
Oh, it's so boring. I think Ocean's Raisin Bran.
I love Raisin Bran.
I think Ocean's cereal of choice would be Raisin Bran because it's good for you. It's hearty. It's those nice bran flakes that give you all that nice fiber, but with just that occasional sweetness. I think Ocean would that would be his choice. I think it says a lot about him too as a person because he's very simple and straightforward, but at the same time, it's got that sweet little touch of sweetness to him. But most people will look at it and be like, that's not very exciting.
And just like Ocean, its foundation is a bunch of terrible garbage.
Yeah.
And then it's trying to be better, though. It's trying to be better.
It's bran flakes. It's an improved version of bran flakes.
Brady, you saying that you like Raisin Bran is the most disappointing thing I've ever heard.
Really? What's so bad about Raisin Bran?
I love Raisin Bran too.
The raisins aren't good, and the bran's not good.
No, the bran is obviously like tasteless cardboard, but when you put a raisin on the bran, for whatever reason, that combination is like
fundamentally changes it on a chemical level.
It's like a crunchy raisin. It's just a crunchy raisin.
That sounds like hell to me.
It's delicious.
Eat grapes, people. Stop ruining grapes. Keep them plump as they were intended to be. And don't eat any bran. That's my advice. Brady, what cereal is Book?
Okay, so I think Book would be his cereal would be Lucky Charms, but he would pick out all the marshmallows.
What psychopath?
So hear me out.
This is so upsetting.
You pour the Lucky Charms into the bowl. You pour the milk into the bowl, and then as you're eating, you pick out all the marshmallows. You still get sugary milk, but it's not overpowering with like the weird, like the marshmallows in Lucky Charms. It tastes, the texture is bad, and the taste isn't that good either. The texture's
so wrong.
The texture's like styrofoam.
Worse than a raisin?
No. This isn't me talking. This is Book. So like, and genuinely, like, I don't really care for Lucky Charms at all. But I think Book's favorite cereal would be Lucky Charms with the marshmallows in when he pours the milk, but then you would pick out the marshmallows. And the reason why is because one, Book's insane. Two, like, he's a little neurotic. And I think like it would be like, for him, it'd be like a little, like, it would be his task. Like he'd be like, you know, like it would keep him busy while he's eating, picking out the marshmallows. He's got an overactive brain.
Which one does he like to pick out the most? What feels the best in his fingers as he's sticking his fingers in the milk he's going to drink? Which one is his favorite?
I think finding the rainbow ones would be his favorite to pick up because they look the most like the crunchy bits. So like it would be the hardest. So like he's the most proud of getting the rainbow ones out.
The funnest one to hold in your fingers as a real human is definitely the clovers, because it's like that nice edge. You can grab it easily.
No,
Those
but
are
when they get wet, they're real slippery.
Yeah, you can slip it around. I don't know how I remember how they feel since I haven't touched a marshmallow since I was, 4 probably?
Do you remember how like weird and slick and oily they get when they touch milk?
They get slimy.
Lucky Charms is gross. I do not like Lucky Charms.
I like it. It's good. It has a good ratio of garbage, which is the cereal foundation.
I was a big Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Frosted Flakes guy as a kid.
So for me, I haven't eaten cereal in many, many years, because I think my opinions on milk have been stated here. So I'm going to not open up that can of worms again.
Your first podcast you ever listened to was a cereal podcast.
Yes, I do listen to a cereal-based podcast called The Empty Bowl, and I do recommend everyone listen to it, even though I personally don't enjoy cereal. It's still a good podcast where they talk about all the new exciting things in the cereal landscape. Because I do think cereal is interesting as a concept.
It is a fascinating concept.
Yeah, we take this garbage food that doesn't taste good and put as many different combinations and mixes and flavors into it to try to make it edible, which would make sense if it was also healthy, but it's not. It's just I would love if there was a human kibble we could eat.
Oh my God, I have had that. Oh man, that is it's not. That is a thing I have been trying to brainstorm how I could do for decades now. I have desperately wanted human kibble.
I would also enjoy that. Would you put milk on it or would you just eat it dry?
No, it needs to be edible dry.
It would be edible dry, but you'd pour a little water on top of it or something to.
Not water. You don't want mush. I would dip it in honey mustard.
Well, just in case you want it to be a little moist. People eat cereal dry, but people like putting milk on it. It'd be like for the human kibble, you'd pour a little bit of water on there so you have the nice crunch with the soft as the.
But the difference with cereal and what you're describing is you're pouring it in milk, which on its own tastes good.
False.
And people drink milk on. No, Stu, I'm not talking about Stu specifically. I'm talking about people. People drink milk on its own as something that tastes good. Just imagine pouring water on your cereal.
But how I imagine this human kibble to be, it's like dehydrated meat cubes or whatever not. So when you put a little water in it, it just turns into kind of like a broth as it reformulates, like ramen packets, right?
Would it be hot water?
It'd be whatever you wanted. You could eat it dry if you wanted. You could eat it hot if you wanted. You could.
I think you are just describing instant ramen, my man.
Yeah, but I want it in kibble form factor.
I want something crunchy.
I want Lucky Charms, but they also have all the vitamins and nutrients. Then I'll eat cereal. That's the only time I'll do it. I'm just saying they're bad because they're bad for you and taste.
You never answered the question though. What's your cereal choice?
I've probably had way more dry cereal than wet cereal in my life, which, yeah, when you milk it, you call it wet cereal. But back in middle school, I used to always have a box of Count Chocula in my backpack. So that's a strong contender.
Count Chocula is
cereal would represent
good. Me. It's a little much for me.
He does fit my vibe a lot too. Count Chocula himself fits my vibe well, but the cereal I've eaten the most,
he does fit your aesthetic
by far in my life, is all in college. I also had a box of cereal in my backpack, but it was Apple Dapples, which is the Food Lion brand Apple Jacks, and it was $1 for a box, and that was all I ate for 2 years because I had no money. So maybe that's why I don't like cereal.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
But Apple Dapples had a big dinosaur on the front. He was pretty happy. It was pretty cool. And it tasted just like Apple Jacks, which is great because adults can't see why it's so delicious. Only children can.
I think you're thinking of tricks are for kids.
That's tricks.
No, it's not. There's this weird thing about Apple Jacks where parents just can't see why it's delicious.
Sure, isn't that Lucky Charms too?
Slogan?
I thought that was Lucky Charms.
No, they can't have it.
It's tricks are for kids.
Yeah, not those nasty rabbits.
Whatever Stu is talking about is a fever dream that he had when he was when he had severe nutrient deficiencies because all he was eating were Apple Dapples. Are you talking about is it hands off my Apple Jacks?
No,
or something like that. But it wasn't a parent thing.
No, it was why do kids like Apple Jacks? And it's they just do. And they'd always be the parents would always be asking hey, why do you like Apple Jacks? Which is a weird way to frame a commercial.
Dad, we're resting. Yeah.
And eating those Apple Jacks, I see.
Hey, what's wrong, and kiss. They don't taste like apples. That isn't why we like them. Then why?
I know. You just do.
Yeah. Kellogg's Applejack cereal is part of this complete breakfast. We eat what we like.
The only Applejack's commercials I remember is one that had the Rasta, the cinnamon guy that was chasing the apple around for some reason.
So I'm Apple Dapple. Everyone go try Apple Dapple. If you're going to eat a garbage food like cereal, you might as well have the best. Go to your local food line, which is only on the East Coast, I believe. Book Nook of Book Takes.
Welcome back, everyone, to Book Nook of Book Takes. I'm your host, Book McReady, and not this week, but coming up soon in the near future, we'll be doing a review of a little book called Parable of the Sower. So if you'd like to form your own opinions before we ruin it for you, go down to your local bookshop, used bookstore, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books. Pick up a copy of Parable for the Sower, give it a read, and we'll let you know when it's coming up, when our review of that book will be coming up. It is a post-apocalyptic novel, so get it up ya.
Get it up, yeah. Is that how you ended that sentence?
Get it up ya.
Oh, that's worse. Thank you.
It's an awful way to end it.
And with that, let's get back to the action. Previously, Book made a bit of a boo-boo while everyone is in the Baffles, the home of the Boxcar Children. He was trying to stall for time for his friends to come back with the spider, but while he plugged in his laptop into this giant door that is holding potentially all of the ocean's water behind it, he was remotely hacked or something. He lost control of his computer to what seems to be the tower, and it started a sequence to open the door up, which will probably make the Boxcar Children not too happy. And if you want to know their true opinion, they're right behind you, because they ran up to you and said, "What the fuck did you just do?"
Hot Josh, hot salad. I made a mistake. Somehow the silent got into the thing I just plugged in to the cord, and they hacked into the door, and they're opening it in 21 days.
I really, really like how we did this big warning about how the silent are coming and they're going to get to us and they're going to cause mayhem and you got to be ready. And then they said, yeah, we have plenty of fortifications. We are ready. And then we fucking installed malware onto their door. So we are the reason they are now unprepared. Oh, we are the bad guys, aren't we?
What can I say? We totally played into their hand.
Give me actually an act under fire.
I'm done rolling.
This is the first roll of the game. You can't be done rolling yet.
So I rolled a 3, a 1, and +3. So that is a 7.
You passed it.
Oh boy.
There is definitely widespread. They listen to you saying this. And right when you get to the part where you said some of the doors can open, some of the Boxcar Children like panic and some of them even run back towards the tunnel, like leaving the majority of them here. So now it's down to just like,
wait. I yell, wait.
All of them except one stops running.
I have a plan, but in order to pull this off, we're going to need to meet with Hot Goss.
Hot Josh rolls her eyes and she goes, I knew I shouldn't have let you do this. This is going to come back on me. Okay, there's going to be a lot of water in there. Do you know how they're opening it? Like what's going on? How much water is going to come down? Are they opening all of the like intermediate channels? What's happening? We got to know all the details.
I don't have all the details. I think it's just that door. But the important thing is that I have a plan that I need to share with you and Hot Goss.
I don't know if you're in much of a position to be making demands as you've just endangered our society here.
Yeah, well, if you don't want to have to evacuate your town, you might want to give me a chance.
We could just please the chaos gods by chaining you to a rock in here, and as you drowned, maybe that will cause them to protect us.
Right. That's fair.
Ocean throws his hands up and says, what if we just, can we just talk to Hot Goss? Just, we're the ones that are responsible for this mistake. And he kind of gives Book a death glare.
I mean, I don't know about you, Ocean, but I don't think chaining someone to a rock is all that chaotic.
We did make this mistake. If we talk to Hot Goss, maybe we can fix it.
I nudge Ocean. Dude, I'm trying to do something here. I'm trying to speak their language.
Oh, I don't know if you're doing a good job at it. They seem a little mad.
Well, maybe if you'd let me finish.
All right. Take over.
Listen, I don't think chaining me to a rock is really all that chaotic. That just sounds like good old fashioned revenge, which I totally understand you wanting.
That shit will work on Papa Woody. That's not going to work with us. Don't try to, not chaotic enough. We're smarter than him.
That's why I'm trying to talk to you, not him. But listen, if you really want to be chaotic, let's unleash some chaos. But not on me. But like, what am I to the chaos god? I'm fucking nothing.
Delicious.
Sure. You know what else would be delicious? Knocking down a whole entire tower.
That seems difficult, but I may be able to get you an audience. Either way, it doesn't really matter because you're coming with us.
Great. Yeah, that's what I want.
That's what we've been trying to do forever.
Well, fuck.
Why did you have to hack a door first?
I genuinely, I thought I would get useful information out of it. Did I get the information I wanted, by the way?
No,
I
got
did not.
nothing.
God damn it.
Just endangered the entirety of our society.
You see Salad is picking up your laptop back from where you left it, and she's taking it. Hot Salad comes around and is trying to take your weapons. Are you guys going to hand them all over?
Yeah, except I don't give them my cane.
Yes, that's fine. They would not take a cane from an old man.
Yeah, Ocean will give the gun that he has. I'm trying to think if I have any weapon that I've stashed anywhere. I think the only thing I can think of is my knife that I have in my boot. Do you think they would catch that if I tried to downplay it?
Possibly. You could try to hide it from them if you want, but they would try to pat you down and find it.
Yeah, I'll try my best to position it in a way where they might not see it.
Okay, give me an act under fire.
I'm thinking they're going to see it. That is it's a 7. It's a 7.
Hot Salad pats you down, and you do feel like she does check around your boot. And then she turns to you and she says, "Do you have any more weapons?"
Oof. Ocean reaches down and he pulls the knife out of his boot and says, "That's the last one," and hands it to her.
"Thank you." And she just grabs it. She just had her eyes locked on you the entire time. Then she takes it and she starts walking back down the ramp. You feel the tip of a gun poke you in the back of the ribs, which is the end of the spear gun. And Hot Josh says, "March forward."
Have we heard anything from the walkie-talkie?
No, you have not.
Okay. With my cane, as we're walking, I just want to draw a little arrow in the direction that we're going.
Like periodically or
periodically.
once?
No,
Okay.
Periodically.
I'll probably give you one roll for this as you're going down. I guess the most important part would be at this first intersection. So give me a act under fire. Ha, embarrassing. For our listeners at home, Brady was all confident and smiling based on his good roll, but then like an idiot, he knocked over his pop filter.
Well, that is a 15, ladies and gentlemen, because I rolled 2 6s.
What a absolute unit.
Okay, yeah, you have no issue. You make one. You actually get a really big one made right at the intersection. You like pretend you're going to walk down the wrong direction. And as she like turns you to face the other way, you use the opportunity to take your cane and do like one big swipe off and then add a little arrowhead right at the end.
Nice.
And you keep going down and you're able to periodically do this as you continue along. And you're led down these tunnels that start winding, and there are some more openings in them that seem to lead to other places. But you notice there starts being like actually built-in lights in the wall, and the tunnel starts getting more smooth and manufactured looking, like it's just stone walls, like you're in some bunker underground.
And we're descending?
Descending, yes.
Okay.
And then it opens up to be probably about like a 2-lane road width, like 2 in each direction, whatever that's called. Maybe a 4-lane road that gets much more flat and stable. It looks like there may actually be asphalt here as you're moving along, and you see 2 big spotlights up in the distance that shine on you and track you as you guys are walking on. And as you get closer, you see these massive, it looks like some sort of like chain gun, but no one's manning it, that is also trailing after you.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
This is probably some of the most advanced tech. This looks like something that definitely wouldn't be out of place, like on top of a silent Humvee or something like that. Very massive, a pair of them as you go through this gate, and they lead you in deeper and deeper. And you start hearing vehicles and hearing gunshots and stuff like that echoing down these tunnels, but it doesn't seem like there's any panic or anything from the Boxcar children leading you there. You don't see anyone yet. But eventually you reach this opening to this massive cavern. You see a big sign on the wall that says Defense Factory with an arrow pointing down the tunnel in the direction you're walking. And it does have like 6 other directories under it that are all like building A7, building 14. It's a weird naming pattern that's all obfuscated, but doesn't seem to fit with each other.
Do we
but it
see any suits of armor yet?
No, you do not see any suits of armor yet. But what you do see as you go into this big cavern is it reminds you of when you look over the precipice and see Subtropolis in the extent of this large, huge open cavern that extends about as far as you can see. There are lights dotting the edge of some building, which gives you some small understanding of its scale, but it seems to disappear off into the distance. Like it looks like you're looking down a runway as the lights close in on each other, but it is bordering this massive rectangular brutalistic looking building that fills up this entire chamber. The only other kind of strange thing about it is kind of zooming in and out of it, you see a lot of material. You see like drones flying above it. You see jeeps going in and out. You see a couple like tanks moving through. And it looks like there are a lot of other entrances and exits to this building. It is probably the largest building you've ever seen. Be like infinity airplane hangars as you're looking down. You're led down to the front. There is an additional kind of chain link fence around this that doesn't look like it's anything advanced for security, but just to keep people from coming in and out from anywhere. And the gate you're going into has a big security guard in front who sees Hot Josh, types a few buttons away, and this gate starts rolling out. It's like when you're going into a prison, kind of that 2-layer gate. One closes, one opens type thing. You guys just remaining quiet and following along with them as we go in here.
Ocean looks around and just lets out a whistle and just says, "You guys weren't kidding. You guys do have some stuff, some pretty awesome stuff down here.
Thank you. This is our domain.
Where did you find all this? Has this been here this whole time?"
Yes, it all comes from here. That's why the Boxcar Children, our ancestors, settled in this location. There's basically limitless food, limitless supplies, limitless bullets. We still haven't found the bottom of the bullet tank.
So why are you guys so... And he thinks back to like Papa Woody and all the other Boxcar Children that he's met. Why do you all act so primitive everywhere if this is what you guys have? Why are you separated so distinctly from the half of you all that seem to be struggling to make ends meet in this facility?
We are very careful about where our resources are expended. I don't know if you know this about the Boxcar Children, but there's a lot of chaos in the utilization of all of this stuff. So we have to be very careful that when we send it out, we pretty much don't expect it to come back. But luckily, we have the numbers and supplies that's usually just not a big deal, right? We can send people out to go stay in a town for a decade and see what's going on there, try to collect any more information and make sure that we still can maintain a safe perimeter here.
Well, color me impressed.
Stu, can I read this landscape?
Yeah, give me a read a landscape roll, which I don't think you've used on the podcast.
So read a landscape, basically, I roll plus sharp, and if I succeed, I get to ask Stu questions about the area, like what's on the horizon and coming closer, what does the landscape want, how could I cross it safely, where is it most dangerous, what's hidden there, and then on a miss, basically, Stu, I can still ask a question, but I get noticed, and whatever is on that landscape recognizes my scrutiny, whatever that means. So I rolled a 5 and a 6 plus 3, which is a big number.
How many questions did you get to ask me?
3 questions.
Ask me all 3 now.
My 3 questions are: who or what is hidden in the landscape, and what gives them away to me? Question 2: how could the spider most safely cross this landscape, or best use it to our advantage?
Are you just adding words in here, or are you actually allowed to do that?
Well, the question is, how could I most safely cross this landscape or best use it to my advantage? But my thought was like, how could the spider cross it?
It will potentially be nice this time.
Okay. Where is this landscape most treacherous?
I'm going to answer these as you walk through here a little bit, and you guys kind of see some different things. The main doors of this large building open up. Inside, you are greeted with hundreds of people running around. It does seem to be predominantly women boxcar children, but there is a mix of some men here and there doing things. In this first room, which it's almost silly to call it a first room because it is massive, like airplane hangar size, like large airplane hangar size, not like a fun little Cessna airplane hangar size. There's all sorts of things going on. You see conveyor belts that are cranking away things. It seems like this factory is still operational. And as she mentioned, you do see just rows and rows of bullets that are basically coming down these different chutes and being fed into ammo boxes and being moved out and put in storage near the edge or near bays where there's large flatbed trucks that are picking them up and driving off to who knows where. It seems like there is some extensivity to these tunnels that has nothing to do with Subtropolis and where you've seen. You think if you knew there was an operation like this going on, that you would have been seeing a lot of boxcar children in Subtropolis or things like that. But it seems like they're dealing with a lot that has been completely outside of like your scope of interest. As you're moving along, Hot Josh takes the lead, and you're kind of surrounded by the rest of the boxcar children. As she stomps her way forward deeper into this factory, people seem to just be getting out of the way. And she takes a turn down kind of a back hallway near one of the exits. It looks like there's a bunch of interconnected hangars within like a hallway that runs along the back with a bunch of different office spaces and doors that lead to a bunch of different locations and multiple floors. And she starts leading you back through there. And what you notice is that in some of these doors, it's not just necessarily tools of war that are filling up this building. You see there are file cabinets and servers and computers. There's information all throughout this landscape as well. As you continue in this parallel hallway, it's much less people here, much easier to move quickly. That may be the reason she decided to take it. As you're continuing down this hallway, you see these signs that continuously point off to the right to different labeled hangars that are similar to the signs outside, just strange sequences of numbers and letters and dashes that don't seem to make much sense. But it seems like maybe on the outside of this building, there's a series of hangars. And you do remember that Papa Woody mentioned that is where the flight suits are stored. And I will say from your documentation that you got from your parents, you know that hangar number is written there. You still have that on you. You probably didn't memorize it, but you could probably find it out pretty easily if you have a moment to yourself where you're not being watched by Hot Josh. As you're winding your way through here, you find it unlikely that the spider would be able to like easily roll in anywhere. You saw all of the security outside. You saw those defense turrets. You did see a bunch of different hallway or different tunnels going in and out. So maybe one of those is less defended or more defended. You don't know. But you think coming in the front would be certainly seen. And based on the drones flying above, you don't think there's anywhere where it's very likely they'd be spotted without notice.
Okay, what about like on the ceiling though?
Yeah, that's the drone part that I unfortunately already mentioned. If you were somehow able to get in undetected, you think mostly the hangars would probably provide the quickest entrance and exit. You assume some of them have to be open to air and things like that. So if you're able to spider down into that, that would probably be the fastest way. But you think it is also pretty unlikely you'd be able to sneak in very close to here. And that becomes more apparent in the room that she leads you into, which is a big war room. And you can see that there are camera feeds and sensors and radar all up in this.
Good Lord.
You see beeps and boops happening everywhere. You see a big table laid out that seems to be representing a bunch of different forces. In the middle is this huge table that you recognize where you're at. If this was a mall, there'd be a red dot that said you are here. There's not one of those, but you recognize the large building, and you even recognize the kind of tunnels leading up to it and where the gauntlet was and like the direction of Hamlet opening. You kind of get a good concept of that. And you see that to scale probably a dozen or so miles away in most directions, it seems like the boxcar children are prepared for like large scale fighting. You see there are many, many little cubes and figures that represent units on this table. And it looks like they are in pretty constant combat with you don't know what, but there's multiple different colored kind of bad guy side of things, depending on your perspective, that are all in different directions around it, and it actually seems like one of the safer spots is in the direction of Hamlet opening, but you do recognize a whole series of yellow cubes there that you assume represent the yellow Humvee people, and plans laid out for how all the Boxcar children are defending against them, stealing from them, fighting them, those sorts of things. It's not like a detailed list you can just look at and go like, now I understand everything, but you can see that they have done extensive thought and planning around this. She leads you past all of this and tells you to sit at the table. I feel like I just talked for like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Did that hit all of your landscape questions?
Yeah, can I quickly check which hangar I'm supposed to be looking for?
Are you trying to hide it, or are you just trying to act like you're allowed to look at your shit? Because no one said you couldn't.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to pull it out and look at it.
Yep. You sit down, you dig through your bag and pull out some of these Ziplocked papers you got. And you see some of the crayon drawings, and you flip through them and you see the sketch made of this. And it is hangar A6-7Z.
Okay, have we passed that hangar?
I don't know what roll to give you to say, have I remembered this? Because they're not numbered sequentially. They're all random. Give me a try something challenging. I know you loved your last one so much.
Rolled a 5 and a 6.
I'm going to say, since you rolled so well, not only do you know that you haven't passed it yet, but you think it's on the second floor, because you realize all the first floor hangars had a letter in the first half of the alphabet at the end of it, no matter what it was. And this one's a Z. So you're like, okay, it's probably on at least the floor above it or something like that. That would make sense to you.
Okay, got it. Cool. Okay, so where are we now?
You're in a war room, sitting at a table.
With Hot Josh and Hot Goss now?
No, just Hot Josh and the same people led you in there, besides all these people who are around planning and doing things. And she sits down across from you. Do you want to say anything to Ocean before we start? You have a second. It's a very big table. So
Wait, Hot Josh sits down across
she's
from me?
about to. It's a very big table. So she leads you up to yours, 2 chairs. And then she's now walking around the very large table, if you want to say anything briefly before she gets to her seat directly across from you.
Okay. Hey, Ocean.
Yes. Ocean looks around and he's looking very overwhelmed.
Okay, you have to find a way to get on the walkie-talkie with Vesuvius and Cowtools. You have to tell them not to come. Tell them to wait by the tent.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I can do that. They didn't take my walkie-talkie, did they?
They did not.
Okay. Ocean leans back. And they just walked out, right? Briefly. We're just briefly with the two of us.
They are still in the room, but they are walking around the table.
Ocean grabs the talkie and says, he hits the button, bloop. Operation Summer Bod on pause. Operation Summer Bod on pause. Hold out by crap, what's a good name? What could his book's code name be? He'll just say, hold out by Poppy and Mommy's tent.
Hot Josh sits down and she goes, was that you telling that RC car head and the small child-sized person, adult man, the weird one, was that you telling them to not come here?
Oh, yeah. How'd you know that?
That's smart. We saw you come in. We know who was with you.
Okay, I guess that's true.
Book was really hoping Ocean would ask to go to the bathroom or something and do it there.
No.
If only we could crack who Mommy and Poppy's tent is.
Well, it's a secret.
You're so good with the code word.
Okay, Hot Josh.
Yes.
Is Hot Goss going to be joining us?
If she has free time, she'll make her way down here. She's being alerted now of the situation, and she may view other things as more important, or maybe different courses of action than talking with you. So I think we should try to lay out what you think our options are.
All right. I am going to lay out a plan and use my cool new move. Lay out a plan.
I said options, not a plan.
Yeah, but I have a plan, so I'm going to lay out the plan.
So Stu is completely okay with you doing this.
Okay. Do I need to roll now?
In a second, you will roll. But Hot Josh says, I don't want your fucking plan. You don't think we can plan something that's going to work? We need to know what you think the options are so we can decide what to do. Well, you can still ignore all of that and just do it, though, if you want to. She's not going to shoot you.
What if the options that I think are available are formulated sequentially in a way that they fit together potentially very nicely?
That would be great. I just have very little confidence in some chuckle fuck who fucked up our door actually having a solution to the problem he caused.
Yeah, so I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but I'm going to I think there are things that I have information about that I might be able to things that might make your life easier. How about that?
Yes, that's what I'm asking for.
Great. So I'm going to lay out a plan.
Okay.
Should I roll now or after I lay out the plan?
You can do it.
All right. Fuck. It fell.
Good job.
Okay, it is sharp. Okay, so that's a 4 plus 6 is 10 plus 3 is 13, which means we will get to hold 3 when we execute the plan.
If you execute the plan.
Well, I'm definitely going to execute the plan. Okay, Hot Josh. Side note, as the person playing book, I do find it weird calling people hot and then their name to their face. Okay, Hot Josh. I'm going to just lay it all out there for you. So I'm hoping that you'll return in kind. You know, I'm kind of giving you the keys to the kingdom here. The Yellow Humvee people have been our enemy for a while here. And we've already kind of started a plan in place to take them down. This obviously complicates that because it gives us a very finite time scale. We have 21 days to either, we have, like you said, in interest of laying out our options, we have a couple of options. Option 1 is we empty the transfer and we pump all of the water out so that when those doors open, nothing bad happens. I think that we should absolutely pursue this course of action no matter what else we do because the risk versus reward is very high. If we can empty the transfer of water, then opening the doors won't hurt us.
I have one quick question. Do you want me to interrupt you when you say something dumb, or do you want me to just let you keep going?
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to be able to pump that water out. The surface station does not have power.
Yet.
If you have people on the surface, you can put power in that station. I think you would have done it by now.
I don't have people on the surface, but I know people who are on the surface. I just have to. Okay. It's still an option. It's possible. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean we can't do it together. Okay. If we can do you agree that if we can empty it of water, that would be a good thing to do, considering that the doors are going to open whether we like it or not in 21 days?
I agree. Them being empty of water was good. I disagree with pretty much everything else you just said in that sentence. But yes.
What else did I say? Isn't that the only thing I said? Whatever. Option 2 is, see, the interrupting, it did throw me off because now
I asked you politely.
No, this is out of character. I don't remember what I was going to say. Fuck. Oh, okay. I do remember. Okay. I'm back, baby.
He's back.
I'm actually, can we hold questions to the end? I'm going to throw that out there. Okay.
Yes, sure.
Option 2 is we destroy the tower, and from there we have lots of options. We can either try to figure out how to stop the door from opening. We can, whatever. Once we get the tower out of the way, that threat kind of goes down because then we don't have to worry about the threat of them attacking to access the doors in addition to the doors flooding everything. And then option 3 is to evacuate everything below the doors, which would be here, which I don't think is really an option for you because this is a massive amount of infrastructure and is clearly the cornerstone of your society, and losing that would be awful. And I don't want you to have to do that. But if 20 days comes and those doors are opening, whether we like it or not, we want to save people's lives. So that's our last ditch option, is evacuating everything below those doors. I am proposing that we pursue option 1 and 2 at the same time. We have information that suggests that there are people on the surface, namely my mom and my sister and maybe my dad, who have access to a power core that should be able to restart the pump at the surface. We just have to figure out how to contact them. Now, I have their exact coordinates, which we should be able to use to identify if they're at the pump or not. And hopefully I now have their notes and will be able to figure out how to contact them. We also have something called a through the earth communicator, a TTE, that will allow us to send a signal through the earth to the surface, which is how we would get in contact with them. So with regards to pumping the water out of the transfer, I think that is a thread we should pull. While we're doing that, have you guys seen the signals from the tower about an open audition?
Oh, do you want me to talk now?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question.
Okay, I sorry. It was confusing because there were just so many dumb things that it was hard for me to know when you want me to respond to the dumb thing. Yes, of course we've seen it.
Okay. We had started to formulate a plan for infiltrating the tower using that open audition as a way to get our people on the inside and dismantle it from the inside. We've already successfully converted people from the tower to back to their normal selves. We know that it's possible, so we want to kill as few people as we can. Really, all we need to do is destroy the AI, which is easier said than done, obviously, which is why I think we need to get people on the inside. Now, this is going to sound really stupid, but do you know what the date is?
We don't really keep calendar, but I think we do have some tracking of what at least the computers think the date is. I don't know if those are accurate anymore.
Do you know how many days until the open auditions? The open auditions were like, what, October 29th or something? Do you remember?
Yes. It's the very end of the month.
Yeah. Do you know how many days away that is?
I can get someone on that. Oh, I wanted to get her in here anyway, but give me 1 second. And she leans back. She goes, I need Cookie Crisp now. She leans forward and she goes, are you ready for me to tell you why all of your plans are dumb? Okay, continue.
The last part of my plan is to avoid option 3, evacuation. This is a safeguard so that if the doors do open and we're unsuccessful in either emptying the transfer and or destroying the tower, so that this place doesn't get wiped out. A couple months back, Ocean and I sold a piece of tech to the stew. It's a mapping device that that is able to I think it uses sound to create a 3-dimensional map of the underground. Using this map, we would be able to identify empty reservoirs where if we drilled in strategic places, we could reroute the water so that instead of flooding this area, it floods there instead, thereby preventing you from having to evacuate. Now, in order to get this, we'll obviously have to trade for something back, which is why I want to use the dirigible that my parents came in as a bartering chip. I think that because the stew is the stew and they do a lot of trade on the water, that a submersible would be very useful for them, and they just might be willing to trade a submersible for the underground mapping technology. And if we can get that piece, it'll give us a leg up on the tower as well. And then obviously, if all else fails, we have to keep the tower from reaching the doors. We can't let them get to the surface. We can't let their negative influence spread any more than it already has. And that is the end of my plan.
Now you ready for me to tell you what's dumb?
Yeah, tell me how stupid I am, please.
Okay, thank you. I've been waiting. I've been on the edge of my seat this whole time waiting for this. Okay, you did give me what I asked for, actually. I wanted a lot of that information you said. There's a lot of good, useful, happy information in there. But if I can lay out your 3 options, you said there was evacuation, there was pumping out all of the water, and there was destroying the tower. And I think those are the 3 worst plans I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, God.
I don't want to do any of those things. If we destroy the tower, they may be the only way we can stop this door from opening. We are never going to evacuate this location. This is where untold riches are. And I honestly don't think there is any way to pump water out of there, especially in a reasonable amount of time. If we could have done that, we would have done it already. I do like infiltrating the tower, though. And the doors open and Cookie Crisp comes in. She says, it's 18 days from now, and we do not have any copies of that hardware ID, that whatever used to start that opening sequence. I don't know why they're not in any of our files, but they don't exist. And Hot Josh goes, thank you. You may go.
I'm not hearing any I'm hearing you shit on a plan and not offer any alternatives.
Oh, I don't have any alternatives for you. We'll figure out what to do. Yeah, I think you should be worried if we're going to kill you or put you in prison or not. Those sorts of things. That'd be priority 1 if I was in your seat.
Because I plugged in a computer to a cord.
Yeah.
I didn't hack it. I didn't tell.
You did a bad job at it. You did a really bad job at putting that cord in that computer.
I don't dispute that, but I also think, like I said, I have useful information, useful influence that could literally only benefit you in this circumstance. Also, The tower, using the tower, destroying the tower could only benefit this plan because it would give us time without the pressure of invasion to actually figure out how to keep the door.
I don't give a shit about invasion. We have 1,000 boxcar children. We could just have explode on them and we'd be fine.
I don't think
They're not going to get through.
I don't think you've seen what we've seen. We've seen them hack technology before. All those drones that are flying above you, they can access it. We were in a hospital and they took over the microbots in the hospital and killed everyone inside.
Sounds like a really bad hospital.
Sounds like something you should be worried about.
I'm not worried about it at all.
Well,
0%. 0 out of 10 worry.
your arrogance is going to be your undoing.
I'm worried about these doors opening. That's pretty much it. And I think we have to stop the doors from opening.
Good plan.
That's my plan. What about you, other one?
You said that there's a pump station on the surface, right? That has no power?
Yes.
What if we could get up there and turn the power on?
I don't think you can do that.
What if I told you we had a power supply that would probably be able to activate it?
I think getting to the surface is the hard part.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping you maybe had a tip for.
Well, we could do it the same way my mom did.
How did your mom get to the surface?
Well, she took one of your robots, programmed it to...
I fucking knew it. I told everyone.
She programmed it to fly through the maintenance hash and navigate
Oh my God.
along the transfer to the surface.
Motherfuck. I knew it. No one believed me.
Did you see my dad after my mom left?
No,
Wait, you're telling me he never came back?
I did not personally see him. No.
Did anyone? Like any of...
Oh, no one that I know of. No. And he certainly didn't also steal a robot.
Yeah, that we know.
I mean, a god. Sorry.
Well, I was hoping to not have to give up this particular piece of information, but we have a power core that can activate your god, and it would allow us to restore power to the pump.
I was planning on using it as my bargaining chip.
The only issue is if we use it to power the pump station, we won't be able to come back, and only one of us can go because we only have one power core. And we also promised it to fake Suvius. So we've really kind of shot ourselves in the foot a couple times there.
She leans back again and goes, I need Cookie Crisp again. She leans forward. Okay. So your stupid mom stole you knew it. Okay. Do you know she made it to the surface?
Yeah, we have her coordinates. I told you that already. If you were paying attention instead of just...
I just want you to clarify because you say a lot of dumb things. Like sometimes you'll be like, hey, I can't see her right now, so maybe she doesn't exist. That sort of stuff seems like it'd be pretty common coming from you.
No. I have object permanence.
Well,
Thank you.
I am not confident in the fact. It seems like she's trying to stall. She's saying the sentence really slow. And then Cookie Crisp comes back in and she goes, hey, can the flight suits like navigate the maintenance tunnels? And Cookie Crisp goes, nope, not even close. I'm sure that those flight suits cannot navigate those maintenance tunnels. So I think your mom may have put some extra juice in that bad boy. So unless we have a way of doing that, I don't think we're going to be able to get to the surface and strand one of you up there in the next 20 days.
Well, I do have her notes.
Cool.
I
Want to hand them over?
absolutely not. Over my dead body.
Okay. That can be arranged. Is there any more useful information you have for me?
Me?
Either of you.
I think we've kind of played our whole hand.
Even if we did, it would be lost on deaf ears.
Okay, we're going to temporarily put you in a holding cell. If Hot Goss has the opportunity to come down, she'll love to talk to you. But we got to go get on this door opening problem. So, toodles. She stands up and starts walking out. And Salad and Hot Salad kind of both grab you by the shoulders and start leading you out of a back door.
Hey, Ocean,
Yeah.
we got to get the fuck out of here.
You don't want to talk to Hot Goss?
Not if she's anything like Hot Josh.
Well, weren't we told that Hot Josh is the one that's more amicable and the one we should be talking to? And we fucked that up all by talking to Hot Goss instead?
No, we talked to Hot Josh. We wanted to talk to Hot
That's what I mean.
Gosh.
Reverse what I said.
But do you really want to wait until we're in a cell before...
Well, look, I gave up all my weapons. I don't think we have much of a choice. Have you seen these people? Have you seen these weaponry they have? I don't think we're making it out of here alive.
I nudge him with the cane sword.
I appreciate the gaunt.
Ocean, we have a power core.
I still am not convinced we can get
If you got into one of those suits, we'd be fucking unstoppable.
That's true, but
And if need I remind you, we're not completely defenseless. And I pressed my cane into his toe.
he looks at the cane and says, well, I appreciate the gumption, but I don't think that sword's going to quite cut out. But look, here. I don't think we should burn this bridge. I'm going to be honest with you. The resources this place has, if we want to take down the tower, these are the only allies I think we've got that can actually do it.
Even if they do everything they can to keep the doors from opening, we still need to do everything that we can to keep the doors from opening. And it doesn't sound like they're going to let us do that from here. I don't want to wait around in a holding cell only to find out that we're going to drown in 20 days. Now, if you want to let ourselves get captured, that's fine with me. Last time, at the hospital, didn't really go so great. We ended up killing everyone there. I don't want to have to do that this time.
That's true. I want to talk to Hot Josh. I want to...
Hot Goss.
Hot Goss.
You can't do that when we see her because she will literally kill us.
I'm writing it down. Hot Goss.
You're having this whispered conversation as you're being led back towards the holding cell. You can see the holding cell from here now, from where you're at, and it isn't anything particularly fancy. It's not like they're throwing you in a well with a hydraulic locking door. It looks like there's just like a small room with bars on it, basically.
Hoshin looks at it and says, look, if push comes to shove, I can get us out of here, but I think we should wait a little bit more. I don't think we're going to get any more captured than we already are. And if it means getting an ally that can help me take down the tower, I want to hear. I want to try to see if we can manage it.
I'll follow your lead.
Ooh, he didn't sound happy about it.
You guys get pushed into the cell, and then the door closes. Then you hear a big locking sound, and they walk away, and you guys are just left with yourselves for a while. It's quiet. You do still hear random gunshots, random explosions, but they're very muffled in the distance. You do think you hear something really loud take off, like a jet engine at some point, and then it gets quiet again. And a couple hours later, you hear some footsteps coming down the hallway, and they're slow, belabored footsteps. It almost sounds like someone's like dragging their foot. And then you finally see coming around the corner, Crashio. But he's holding his arm. His right arm is like blown off. And like, it's not like openly bleeding or anything right now, but it is like melted from the elbow down.
What?
And he kind of slumps up against the bars. And you see he has a fresh new pair of dice tattooed under his cheek. And he breathes heavily. And he looks at you and he goes, I told you not to talk to Hot Josh. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Oops, All Apocalypses. Check out the link tree in the episode description for a lot of random shit, including like playlists and merch stores and stuff like that. The music and editing was performed by Stu Masterson. Brady McDonough made the art and logo, switched up that time, and Jacob makes it so our smoothies are just a little less smooth. Ugh. Love you, bye.
I don't know what types of salad we're comparing here. You guys are cutting out every other word. I hope you can hear this. This is what you guys sound like on the
God damn it.